guys, welcome back to WideBody Nation. The S209 is finally running on E85. It has some other stuff going on with it. So this video is going to be an update for you guys on everything I can tell you about the S209, because let's be honest, it's 2021. There's stuff we can't talk about anymore. A lot of rules now, a lot of rules. So we're gonna jump onto the back roads real quick, and hopefully you guys can hear me. So we've got the S209. Yes, the S209 is running on E85, and it's not just running on E85. We have done plenty to make this thing, in my opinion, as it should have come from Subaru. Now, obviously, you know, these wouldn't come running on E85, so that'll be a little asterisk, but the rest of it is how I believe Subaru more or less should have released it from the factory. And basically what I mean by that is they should have released these things with 400 horsepower. Let's just be honest. 341 compared to the normal STI or the Type RA, paying an extra 20 grand compared to those, it just wasn't enough. So in this video, I'm gonna tell you what we did to make this have roughly 400 to 420 wheel horsepower. I have not dynoed it yet. Obviously, I would just flip a dyno sheet up if I had. However, I've taken many people for a ride, also let many people drive it, and they are all very, very confident it's making over 400. Some of them think that it's definitely low 400s easily, and I mean, obviously you guys will see in the driving video. The other way you can tell how much power it's making is when I tell you about the fuel system and how much the injectors are working, what size they are. And if you know, you know. But if you don't know, then whatever, wait till I dyno it, and then you can, you know, you can be a hater, or you can be like, oh, okay, now I believe you. So with that being said, jump in the comments below. Let me know if you're all, you know, hurt feelings report on the fact that I'm modifying this S209, or if you're super pumped about it, hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed so you get all the updates in the future. If you're tuning back in, welcome back. So we did a lot of things that are reliability mods. We did a lot of things that are power mods. So reliability wise, the main one we did is the air oil separator, and that is obviously from IAG. I'm actually from Maryland, about 40 minutes away from IAG, so I always like getting products from them when I can and when it makes sense. Maybe we'll get some stuff from them in the future when we go real crazy with this. That is the version that is the better version, and if you know what that means, you know what that means. It's the V3, and it's the better version. We obviously got this little guard up here so we can keep our top mount looking nice for while we have it. And then we have our turbo hanging out back here, and we got the Grimmspeed Cerakoted heat shield right there. You know, is that necessary? Not really, but you know, I'm trying to prevent as much heat soak as I can, so I went ahead and snagged that while we were doing the other work. Now, you guys will notice that we left the stock air box, the stock intake and stock for the 209 that is, and the top mount there. So on the front end of the motor, as far as intake, as far as cooling goes, we haven't touched that. And that's kind of where I want it to be with this iteration, this stage 2 of modifying the 209, because yes, we could have gone crazier, but I kind of wanted to see, again, I wanted to see how the turbo, how much this turbo would really make, and kind of how much Subaru could have given us for spending this much money, and just kind of, I don't know, it felt kind of weird to me that they put out a car that handles so well and then just did not give it any more power. And obviously it's just, it's probably budget, it's probably regulations. I mean, I guess I can't fault them, but let's keep going here. So another big thing before we get into kind of more close to the motor is we have the ETS V2 MAXFLOW headers down here. They look great. I got them Cerakoted or high temp ceramic coated, whatever you want to call it, by Battleborn Coatings in Clarksville, Tennessee. They are the same people who did the wheels here. Obviously, this being an S209 came with the granite or the gunmetal wheels, and let's be honest, folks, can't have a World Rally Blue Subaru and then not have gold wheels. Quick note on these tires, these are the Dunlop Sportmax GTs 600A, allegedly. After about 10,000 miles, they're still holding up pretty well. I have not tracked this car yet, so I guess I would probably run through those rather quickly. But honestly, I think they're 100 tread wear. They're either 100 or 200 tread wear tire, and they've lasted for a minute. So can't really hate on that. I'll talk about the brakes before we start driving. Let's get back to the engine. So Flex Fuel Kit. This has the full Cobb Flex Fuel Kit. This is the Flex Fuel Kit that if you go on their website is like $2,400, whatever it is right now. It's the one that has everything. Just had some motorcycle riders pass by that didn't know how to shift gears. So, and we're back. All right. So Cobb Flex Fuel Kit. I bought the full kit, although my shop that I used obviously told me that we were already switching some things out. So obviously we still have a flex fuel sensor and a fuel pressure regulator. We had to change out the fuel pump, but the injectors and the fuel pump are the two big things I want to talk about. So first thing, injectors. We are running the 1300 cc injectors. Now 1300 cc injectors, as many of you know, are a level up from what most people kind of default to when they start upgrading their fuel system. Keeping in mind that we are at 1300 cc injectors and the AEM 340 E85 compatible fuel pump, folks, we're at 90% injector duty cycle in Sport Sharp in gears 3 and 4, believe it or not. So that kind of gives you an idea about how much power we're making if we are already maxing out 1300 cc injectors. And if you're newer to the game, that might not make any sense, but that is roughly, in my opinion, a good way to tell how much this is making, because that means this turbo and this whole setup is really eating it up and it's ready to eat. And honestly, it's begging for more injector. I mean, hindsight being 2020, I wish we had went 1700s off the bat, but I thought we were helping ourselves out with 1300 cc injectors, but live and learn, right? So running up to 90% injector duty cycle on this whole Cobb Flex Fuel setup. Obviously we have the Cobb fuel rails and fuel lines. I'm not gonna totally trash the Cobb setup. It's good for now. I'm definitely gonna go full radium when radium comes out with that dual hanger setup. I tried to get the radium basket, the basket and the hanger for this car so I could run 2 Walboro 450 pumps, but Radium actually just discontinued it a couple months ago and is coming out with a newly designed setup. Hopefully that has more features and is just, same good product as they have been coming out with. So that is pretty much it. Other quick note is, unfortunately, the first AEM 340 pump that was installed by the shop, it took a crap immediately. Like, it literally, the car turned on and then it basically just sputtered and died as they were backing out of the shop. So good thing it happened then, because we weren't under load or anything like that. But that is pretty concerning that an AEM 340 fresh out of the box just totally, crap the bed like that. So I'm not too pumped with the AEM 340, and again, that's why I'm going to do the radium dual pump Walboro 450 setup as soon as possible with our next round of modifications. So we're going to get into a driving video momentarily. I'm going to talk about a couple more things about the car just now that I've had it for almost 10,000 miles, and now that it has more power, I'm starting to learn a little bit more about the car, some new weak points I've found, and just stuff like that. So let's talk about brakes. I love the brakes on this car for when it was stock. We got 6 pistons up front. We've got 2 pistons in the rear, so a 6 and 2. It's not a 6 and 4, although the car is light. I mean, it's in the low 3,000 pounds, so it doesn't need 4s in the back, in my opinion. Now, the way that I came up with cars, I was always told that drilled rotors are kind of just the way not to go. Either you get solid rotors or you get slotted rotors. Drilled apparently just compromises the structural integrity, and also cracking is potentially a quicker phenomena. So yes, these have been good so far and they work well. I can't really see anything too crazy going on with them yet. They look like they have a little bit of hot spotting. I mean, nothing nothing too bananas. You know, it's brakes are brakes. They use friction, so they're gonna get hot, they're gonna spot up. I'm planning to most likely either go to a gyro disc, because I have the gyro disc on the rear of my C8, the gyro disc 2-piece rotor, so they have, you know, they actually have the 2 pieces for heat management, for weight reduction, and for easy switching. Or maybe I'll do the S209 guys have pointed me in another couple directions, so it'll really just be a pad and a rotor switch. The calipers are great Brembo calipers, no issue with that, especially those 6 pistons up front. No issue there. Looking forward to, you know, minimizing some unsprung weight when the time comes. I'm not flipping tables right now to get those brakes done. I'm really more focused on getting the tune, if we were tuning it, obviously, because that would just be ridiculous if we were tuning this, right? I'm gonna get this thing running perfect, because it's right about there. Gonna have to figure out the whole injector duty cycle thing a little bit. I mean, we're kind of creeping up right to the top there. Obviously, we're still running the mud flaps. I still need to get the windows tinted, but it's been at the shop for so long. And we're still running the Invidia N1 Street, not N1 Race, N1 Street exhaust with the nice carbon fiber APR little finishers for the exhaust to match the carbon fiber spoiler and roof. Both of these are paint protection film, protected by XPEL, as well as the mirrors forward, you know, because Subaru paint is Subaru paint. Let's go ahead and close this up for you guys. Let's get some driving clips before it gets too dark. All right, folks, we're going no AC because I want you guys to experience full power with no interruption. All right. Gonna let the Accessport boot up real quick. We are currently running 77% ethanol raw. Anything else you guys want? Fuel pressure's up in the 50s right now. I mean, 40, 50, it's all good. Other than that, let's rock. Like I said, we're in the high 70s for E85 content. It always cracks me up that there's no such thing as true E85. It's like usually 50 to 80% or whatever. It's just like, okay, why you call it E85 then? Let's get a quick little map up here and let's start shredding. So we got let's see. All right, so we're just gonna hang out in Sport Sharp and you guys will kind of see what we're rocking with here. See some issues coming up. So that was not a lot of throttle input and we already hit 60% injector duty cycle. Also, you guys might have noticed that there was a little bit of clutch slippage there. The stock clutch is not having a good time. It still works, it just has to be fully engaged, and honestly it's still not too happy about it. Even if you're like not hard shifting, you're waiting till the clutch is fully engaged and then you're giving it the beans. See, I'll creep up 20, this is 2500 right here. All right, that was a good little run. Something on the road there. I'm sure that person did not appreciate that, but I'll coast in neutral for a second. All right, so that was a 4th gear pull going from about 40 to a number that we're not going to say on here, and we were up to 86% injector duty cycle. So again, we are creaming those 1300s, which I wasn't expecting. So I guess 1700s are gonna have to happen sooner rather than later. I'll probably just do those as soon as Radium comes out with their new hangar setup, which Lord knows how long that's gonna take with how everything's going this year. Call it a Christmas present to myself. So a clutch, a good clutch that can hold probably 500, 600, 700 torque, and I think Tommy already told me what clutch he wants to put in this. But yeah, we're gonna need a new clutch that can hold at least 500 to 600 torque, just so that we're overbuilding it. And then 1700cc injectors, and that fuel setup, that fuel pump, the double Walboro radium setup. I think we'll leave the fuel lines alone for now, because whatever, the Cobb ones work, the Cobb fuel rails work, whatever. You guys obviously heard there's some noises coming out from under the hood that are, you know, maybe they're coming from something that I didn't talk about, maybe they aren't, you know. I mean, these days you guys are just gonna have to put 2 and 2 together and figure out what's going on down there. Other than that, I mean, she runs good. I really do like how the power balances out the car, because, I mean, you can take turns in this car going way too fast. You guys can kind of hear those brakes working. They are definitely stressing a little bit. Bit of a built-up area around here, so we're gonna kind of chill out. We're gonna say what's up to the dudes. Whoa! What's up?
What's up?
Alrighty, only got a couple minutes left on the memory card. Just stopped by to see the nice Stage 2 WRX. Got a Stage 2 STI short block in it, obviously. STI, or did I say STI? I meant IAG. So definitely eyeing up those IAG blocks. I know people are freaking out, but I'm thinking with this car, we're honestly probably gonna end up just turning this thing into a race car, and gotta catch up. That clutch is slipping pretty nice. I mean, guys, that's pretty much the end of the video. Running E85, clutch is starting to slip, need bigger injectors, need better fuel pump situation, so Radium's gonna hook us up ID 1700s and probably an ACT clutch if I had to guess, but I don't know what we're gonna go with yet, because I'll talk to my shop of preference. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I know it's basically dark now. I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure you subscribe on your way out, and let me know what you think about this whole modifying the S209 shenanigans, because people definitely have their opinions.